Guys, it's your boy Chris one more time in the kitchen here doing a little something with you guys. If it's your first time here on YouTube with me, above you're going to see that subscribe link. Click on it. All the latest videos are going to be sent to you. Below, leave me your comments and do remember to give the video a thumbs up or like it. Today we're making a wicked vegetarian meal. Don't get tired, vegetarian is wicked too. And here we go. What I have here is some bodi, also known as yard bean. Very long, it's in elastic here. Also known as yard bean. I believe it's also called snake beans somewhere out in Asia out there. But today we're doing this wicked vegetarian dish and I do hope you give this one a try. So here we go. Up next I'm going to tell you guys all the ingredients and then we're going to get cracking on this wicked vegetarian bodi Caribbean. Hey, it's a wicked dish. Let's see if we can quickly run through the ingredients here. And here I have one bundle of that bodi. It's about 3/4 pound or so. Now here's the thing about this recipe. I'm in North America, so you notice it's not as green, it's not as brilliant as freshly picked bodi down in the Caribbean. If you're down in the Caribbean, you're going to notice that when you're cooking, when we get to the cooking steps, it will take a little bit less to cook. For some reason, the bodi we get here in North America takes a little bit longer to cook. So keep that in mind when we're cooking. So we have that one bundle of bodi. Caribbean Sunshine, the Scotch bonnet pepper, we're going to use about half of this. No seeds, because that's where all the heat is going to be. A medium onion, I'm going to chop that up. 3 cloves of garlic. I've got about a half a teaspoon of salt here. About a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. If you want to make this a little bit more flavorsome, you can always add some, use olive oil instead of vegetable oil. Some fresh ground black pepper, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon of that. If I forgot anything, I will let you guys know as we go along. You will also need about a 1/4 cup of water in the cooking process as well. So here we go. Let's get cracking on this bodi. The very first thing we want to do is, and I've washed all the bodi in the sink here. The very first thing we need to do is to trim them. And all we're doing is, see the sort of stem here? All we're doing, we're going to break that off and pull back on it. On both ends, you're going to have that same sort of thing to do. Pull back on it. And then all we're doing, you're going to measure maybe about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Snap. If you have any sort of stringy stuff like this, remove and discard and just keep snapping as you would any other bean. Now if you can't get bodi or yard bean, by the way, that's how you're going to look for it in the Asian stores in North America. All I'm doing is snapping them. If you can't get that, you can always use string beans. So that's all we're doing pretty much here. I'm going to show you guys one more time. Remove the bottom. Remove the top. Discard. And then just break about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them and then we'll get cooking. The bodi is nice and chopped up now, ready to go. I've chopped up the onion, chopped up the garlic nice and thin. I've got the pepper all good to go. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, you'll need a tomato, a nice bright lovely juicy tomato. Near the end we're just going to brighten up the dish altogether with that nice red color and the sort of acidy sort of taste from the tomato. So here we go. On the right here on the stove, I've got a fairly deep saucepan which I'm heating on high heat because we really want to bring up the temperature to heat the oil. My pot should be nice and hot now. I have it on a high flame, so all I'm going to do is add that vegetable oil to the pot. Since the pot is already hot, it should be at the right temperature where I want it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss in the garlic and the onion and I'm going to allow that to sweat or to cook down. I'm going to turn my heat down because I really want this to get nice and soft and release all that lovely flavors from the garlic and the onion. I'm going to give that a quick stir, turn down the heat and allow it to cook for a couple minutes. There's some nice brown caramelization happening with the onion and the garlic now. So what I'm going to do is start adding the other ingredients. So in goes the Scotch bonnet pepper, as well as a fresh crank of black pepper. Give that a quick stir. And now all I'm going to start doing is adding the trimmed and washed bodi to the pot. I'm going to have to turn up the heat, obviously, because remember, all this while, we've been cooking this on a very low heat. So I'm just going to continue adding all of those. Now, here's the thing. If you guys want to get creative or you want to stretch this dish a bit, you can certainly add some chopped potato. Some Yukon Gold potato, whatever sort of potato you may have, you can add it to this dish as well. Cube it up, add it, and allow it to cook together with the beans. I'm just going to stir this. Keep stirring. Just add the salt to it now. Give it another stir. And I'm going to add a half a cup of water to the pot here. And then put the lid on it. Scotch bonnet peppers, man, when they fry up, they really give a kick to everything. So I'm going to add a half a cup of water to this, bring it up to a boil, and then we're going to cover it and allow it to gently simmer. Whew, I have to go outside and take a breather from that Scotch bonnet pepper. But here we go. I've added that water. It's come up to a nice sort of boil now. Now here's the thing. If you guys want to add a different layer of flavor to this, there are a couple ways to do it. Number one, instead of using water, I could have gone with coconut milk. I'm just going to turn it down because I really need this to slow cook. Could have gone with coconut milk instead of water. That coconut milk will give it a brilliant undertone finish. Second thing you can do, if you have leftover stewed meats and stuff like that, you can also add it to the pot here. Salted fish. You know, I mean, you boil the saltfish, you scrape it down, you shred it, and you add it to here. Boom, lovely flavor. But we're doing vegetarian today, so this is as good as we're gonna get here with this. What I'm gonna do is, bam, put the lid on there and turn that down to a gentle simmer and let it do its thing for about 25 minutes. Now remember, guys, remember what I said about the bodi down in the Caribbean, freshly picked? It will cook faster, so do keep an eye on things as far as tenderness goes when cooking this, if you have the fresh stuff. It's been about 10 minutes, so I thought I'd show you guys exactly what's going to happen. So it's sort of steam cooking in that little bit of liquid that we added. And you will notice it will start to, excuse me, change color a bit. It will go a bit more pale, not as brilliant green as we started off with. That's fine. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. So what I'm going to do, I already gave it a stir. Remember to keep stirring every 5 minutes or so. Put the lid back on there and let that cook for another 15 minutes or so. It's been 25 minutes in total now since we've added the bodi to the pot. All that liquid has been burnt off. It's nice and tender, but it's not soggy. Now here's where you guys can personalize this. Taste it for salt to ensure there's enough salt, first of all, for your liking. Secondly, you can allow this to steam cook with the lid on there, low heat, for as long as you want. However, I'm almost done cooking here. I like it with a little bit of, not really crunch, but a little bit of firmness to it. However, if you like it a bit more cooked, a bit more mushy, you go ahead and cook it some more. So all I'm going to do here now is to, remember I said we're going to brighten this up with some freshly chopped tomatoes. So that's all I'm doing here now. I'm going to give that a quick stir. And I'm just going to let that cook with the lid on low heat for 2 minutes, and then we're all done. It's been a couple minutes since I added the tomato. Boom, turn off the heat. Heat is off. And there we go. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. And this wonderful vegetarian bodi Caribbean dish is done. All ready to eat. So here we go. Rice, roti, bread, anything, just about anything. It's a wicked side for just about anything out there. It'll have that little bit of kick from the Scotch bonnet pepper. Remember I said you guys can add some salted fish to this, or some leftover stewed meats, or hey, if you just want to keep it simple vegetarian as I did, do your thing. But remember, you can also do the vegetarian thing and add some more flavor with that coconut milk. Just gonna give you guys a close-up of it here. Nice and firm, ready to go. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Thanks again for joining me in the kitchen, guys.